Alright folks, it's Plisken by 51mm, and tonight I have begun my M1A accurization mods video where I talk about things that I've done to improve my M1A, and hopefully it will help you improve yours. But first, here's how I've got it going in my mind on what I want to do. First, I'm going to cover ammo. I'm going to go over ammo, the ammo my M1A liked and the ammo my M1A didn't like. And I'm going to talk a little bit about barrels, barrel lengths, and rifling twists. And then at a later date, I'm going to go into like the mods and parts you can buy and stuff to improve your M1A. But right now I figured I'd focus on the ammo that my M1A liked. So I had to go, I went back and I wrote down all the ammo my M1A liked in my ammo tests. I'm starting off with lowball ammo, and that means ammo between 145 grain weight to 149 grain weight. That's what I consider like lowball ammo, like your M80 ball, like this, stuff like that. And I had to get into my reserves over there. As you can see, I got a big old box of shot up ammo. That is all the ammo that has been through my M1A. That's all brass, boxes and brass in there, and I went through and I found the boxes that I needed for this video for the ammo that I have written down. Alright, so starting out, over here on the left, we got ZQI 147 grain FMJ 7.62 by 51mm M80 ball. The muzzle velocity on this stuff was 2,713 feet per second, but my M1A did not like this stuff. It would group 5 to 6 MOA consistently with it. And part of the reason why is I watched a video, and somebody, a YouTuber, I think it may have been MPK1414, but he took one of these apart, one of these ZQI shells apart. There's the head stamp. He took one of these apart, and they have 3 different types of powders in the brass. I think it's like flake, ball, and stick powder. And then the bullet diameter up here, the actual physical bullet diameter is not a .308. It was like .306 in the box that he opened. So that means the bullet is kind of like doing this down the barrel as it goes. But I could never get ZQI to shoot well on my M1A, even when I would do stuff to you know, shoot my M1A better. My M1A just hated ZQI. But ZQI, I love the ZQI because you could buy a lot of it for cheap. You could buy 20 rounds for like 10 bucks back in 2015. And it was just a blast to shoot, and I enjoyed shooting it. And the brass, I don't think the brass was too hard to reload. Alright, next, Perfecta 308 Winchester was 147 grain full metal jacket with a muzzle velocity of 2,723 feet per second. And now Perfecta was cheap at the time when it was still available at Walmart. I could get a box of this, like 20 rounds for like $13, $12, somewhere in there. The price fluctuated, and I was getting 1 to 3 MOA with this stuff. So my M1A really did like Perfecta. It shot that real good, and I could get 1-inch groups real easy with it out to 100 yards. Okay, next is PMC 147 grain full metal jacket, muzzle velocity of 2,780 feet per second. And I got this stuff. This stuff gets about 3 MOA consistently. I've shot this stuff twice now for ammo tests, and it's just 3 MOA all the way around, which is alright because this is ball ammo, low ball. you know, 147 grain ammo, not meant to be tack driving ammo, and it's cheap. It's really good plinking ammo, and that's what I buy it for. Alright, next is Preview Partisan 145 grain full metal jacket with a muzzle velocity of 2,837 feet per second. It's M80 ball, this stuff right here. And I was getting 3 MOA consistently out of this stuff as well through my M1A loaded. And I actually kind of really like this stuff because it cycled really well on my M1A, even though it was a 3 MOA ammo out of the rifle. It cycled real good, and even out to 200 yards, I could ring steel out to 200 yards all day with it. It was just really fun, and it burned real good, and it was really easy to clean my rifle afterwards as well with this ammo. All right, next is American Eagle 149 grain full metal jacket ammo. This right here by Federal. And it has a muzzle velocity of 2,790 feet per second. And I got, with this ammo, I got 0.4 to 2 MOA with this stuff. Yeah, my M1A really liked this stuff, and I need to get more of it. In fact, this box still has loaded rounds in it. I keep this in my ammo can. And the reason why I did not shoot all of it is these rounds are steel core. They have a steel core in them, and I don't want to shoot them up because it's steel core. I just like having steel core ammo on hand for penetration capabilities if the need arises, which is why I have not shot this box up. But my M1A really liked this stuff. 0.4 MOA, that's sub MOA 0.04 to 2 MOA. So it was really good shooting there with that. And then finally, ExMATC. Here, I've shot this stuff a lot. This is my most, this is the ammo I buy the most these days because it's local. Walmart still carries it, where it no longer carries ZQI Perfecta. And it's pretty cheap for right now. Down at Walmart, it's about $14 a box for a box of 20. And that's in my price range, and I can afford it for my M1A. Shoots really good. It has a muzzle velocity of 2,750 feet per second, and I can get sub MOA to 2.75 MOA with it. I've been able to get this stuff to group real good. My M1A really likes it, and when I'm on my game and I'm doing my part, I can group that stuff real good, real tight, out at 100 all day long, and I can ring steel out to 200 all day long with it as well. So that was the Lowball ammo stuff that I've tested through my M1A. I've shot quite a bit of it. Mostly the stuff that I shot the most through it, and quantity wise, is this stuff right here. These 3. Perfecta, ZQI, and Federal ExMATC, because it's the most affordable. This other stuff is kind of rare and unique in my area. I have to go out of town to buy this ammo, these 3 here, because they are not sold locally. So my bulking up on these 3 right here is limited, but for the time when I could buy ZQI and Perfecta a lot at Walmart, I did, and now ExMATC has taken their place. And the 2 that shot the best out of my M1A were these 2 here. I didn't add this one because I haven't group tested this one enough, but what I did initially shoot out of it, it shot pretty good. But these 2 right here, Lowball 147 full metal jacket and 149 grain full metal jacket. These 2, Perfecta and ExMATC, my M1A absolutely loves these 2 and shoots them real good. Of course, you know, it's ball ammo, and it's, if you buy it in bulk, you get a lot out of either one of them. That's kind of wonky and doesn't shoot as good, but for the most part, by and large, when I'm on my part and I'm doing good and I'm shooting good that day, my M1A absolutely loves this stuff. So, out of the Lowball ammo, that's all the information I got on my Lowball ammo on my end. And we're going to go to medium ball. Alright, we've moved to medium ball, what I've got labeled as medium ball ammo. And that means ammo that is in the 150 to 155 grain range. I know in there with the 308 cartridge and 308 bullet weights, there is several 150 grain weights from like 150 to like 100 and like say 58, 59. But for the most part, out of my M1A, I have only shot 150 grain when I've come across 150 grain ammo. So that's the most common bullet weight of the factory stuff that I've got, and have tested through my M1A. So I can't really, give opinions on ammo I haven't shot yet. Also, I forgot to mention in the first part, well, it's, first part of this video, is that this is just ammo that is ran good through my M1A, and I'm reading this off and telling you what worked and what didn't, so that way you can get an idea of what might work in yours. Every gun is different. No two ARs are alike. Same with M1As, AR-15s, AK-47s. They're all different in some way. So, but I'm just giving a summary of what worked in mine and what didn't, and what my rifle liked, and if so you guys could go try out, say, like American Gunner in your M1A and see what it does for your M1A, because I'm just as a reference type deal. Okay, so starting off here on the left. Alright, we got here on the left, we got Winchester 150 grain Super X PowerPoint 308 ammo. The muzzle velocity on this stuff was 2,820 feet per second. And with this ammo, I got a solid 2.25 each time I tested it out. As a rough estimate of the groups out of each time I shot this ammo that did the best, and I pulled the groups that it got the most consistently and used those, and 2.25 MOA was the most consistent grouping I got out of this stuff. So that's fair. That's good for grain weight ammo like this for Winchester Super X and the Winchester type ammo. Alright, next is Remington core locked 150 grain PSP interlock bullet 308. Muzzle velocity is the same as Winchester Super X, 2,820 feet per second. And I was getting 1.50 to 2.25 MOA with this stuff, and I even got a little star in my notes right next to Remington core locked, because my M1A, I've shot quite a bit of this stuff. My M1A really likes some Remington core locked ammo. It's also sold locally here at my Walmart, and I can buy it for about the same price as I do ExMATC. And I do pick up a box of it every now and then, but I prefer the ExMATC stuff because that's just it's a bit cheaper. But I can buy Remington core locked on bulk, as per se, here. And I have shot a lot of it. My M1A really likes Remington core locked 150 grain ammo. Alright, next is Federal BPX MATCCBL 150 grain full metal jacket. Right here, 7.62 by 51mm NATO ammo. And this ammo here is an anomaly because I looked all over the internet and I could not find a muzzle velocity for this specific ammo apart from ExMATC. There's something different about this ammo because on the ExMATC it just says it's a 149 grain bullet, but on this one it says it's a 150 grain. So I'm not sure what the difference is there. And I looked all over the internet and could not find no information like on the muzzle velocity or any of that, so I didn't write any muzzle velocity down for that. But with this stuff, it almost performs like ZQI did, but just a tad bit better. mostly 3 to 3.50 MOA groupings, but I mostly buy this. I can buy this at my Walmart for $31. There's 40 rounds in each of these boxes here, 40 cartridges. That's not really a bad deal, but I buy this stuff mostly to just go plinking with and have fun. And I can hit targets out to 200 with it pretty easy. I did the last time we went out long range shooting. I hit 10 rounds of this in my M1A, and it was I hit the target, the AR 500, still at 200 quite a bit. So it's pretty decent stuff, but it's not precision ammo. But I buy it for the bulk factor, so I could buy a lot of it in one go. Alright, next is Hornaday American Gunner, 155 grain, boat tail hollow point, 308 ammo. Now this stuff came with 50 cartridges, and my M1A really loved this stuff because when I tested it, the muzzle velocity is 2,700 feet per second, and when I tested it and grouped it at 100, I got 1.25 to 2.25 MOA with this stuff. So my M1A really liked American Gunner. 50 cartridges, I forget what I paid for it. I bought this up at Cabela's, and it grouped pretty darn good. Some good stuff, and I will buy some more when I go back up there, because my M1A really liked it. It really liked American Gunner. Alright, Hornaday American Whitetail. This stuff right here, 308. With a 150 grain interlock bullet. Muzzle velocity is 2,820 feet per second. And the groups I was getting with this stuff, I've shot quite a bit of it as well. I've shot several boxes of this through my M1A. And I was getting 1.75 to 2 MOA with the American Whitetail 308 150 grain interlock bullets with it. So my M1A really liked American Whitetail as well. Alright, next is Federal Power Shock. This stuff right here, Federal Power Shock 150 grain soft point bullets. And the muzzle velocity on this stuff is 2,820 feet per second, but you wouldn't know it because through my M1A I was getting 3 MOA consistently out to 100 yards. And it's funny because me and my friends, we went shooting one time. I actually have a video of me shooting this stuff. It's the video where I shot 3 rounds of this at 100 yards. It's a single video. You can go look it up. But I was shooting this stuff that day, and I had tested it before, and this ammo here acts like it's subsonic. I don't know where they're getting 2,820 feet per second, because this stuff acts like it's going at about 2,400 feet per second. Maybe it's just a one-off, because I've only shot one box of this stuff, but I have it listed because it was a brand of ammo my M1A did not like. Maybe your mileage will vary if you shoot Federal 308 150 grain soft point power shock through your M1A, but mine did not like it. And it was, I could see the wake of the bullet through the scope and see it dropping low on target. And I got some honorable mentions. I got American Eagle back here, Fusion MSR 150 grain. Let's see, what is this? 100, or what was it rather? It just says it's a 150 grain bullet. I don't see no bullet type designation. And then Perfecta Blackbox 150 grain soft point ammo. Now, I got these mentioned here. I was unable, when I purchased these 3, here I'll move them up here so I quit reaching over. When I purchased these 3, I was unable to get to the range to shoot them because it was at a time where I was unable to get to the range, and I ended up having to go, I ended up shooting with my friends a lot in that time period. back in 2016. And this stuff, you know, despite me being unable to actually go out and do a actual ammo test on it, all three of these here functioned and shot very fine, very accurate ammo. I shot this at my grandma's pond, my grandma and grandpa's pond, this Perfecta Blackbox 308 Winchester 150 grain sub point ammo, and this stuff was pinpoint accurate. I couldn't believe it, because at that time my M1A was fairly new, and I'd only had it for a year, and I was drilling stuff with the Blackbox Perfecta like no tomorrow. It was super accurate. I really wish I could have been able to have got it on paper, but I just wasn't able to. There was things going on. It was just a really crazy time right in there, and you know, with life things happen. So you know, all this got shot up, and I wasn't able to get out and test it. These two I plan to rebuy someday and do ammo tests on them to see how they do at 100 at the range. And that way I have ammo tests of them. But I just, you know, this was at Walmart for a while, and then they quit carrying Perfecta. And I haven't seen Perfecta in forever, so I don't know. I don't even know if they make the Blackbox Perfecta anymore, and I have to go out of town to buy these. So one day I'll get to these three and give them a proper ammo test. Okay, out of Mediumball 150 grain weight bullets, I have them marked as with stars as Remington core locked and American Gunner being the best in that grain weight. 150 grain, 155 grain. My M1A shot these the best, but I really should have added this in there too, because my M1A really likes American whitetail. So, like I said before, I'm just doing this as a reference of what ammo my M1A liked. My M1A is an M1A loaded with a 22-inch barrel. So, you know, your mileage may vary, but chances are, if my M1A like it, good chance yours may like this ammo too. So, like, you know, I'm saying this is to give it a try, because, you know, buying quality ammo for your M1A is a good way to see what it likes to shoot the best, you know. And I tend to buy what it likes to shoot the best. I tend to buy a lot of it, which is why I buy a lot of Remington core locked 308 ammo. I have a lot of this in my 40 millimeter ammo can over there, and in that box back there I have at least over 100 round count boxes, you know, would be what would be considered 100 rounds worth and more in that box over there. So I find when I try new ammo, I see if my M1A likes it, and if my M1A likes it, I start buying that particular factory ammo more. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm kind of giving advice in that regard to people who are watching this, who are M1A owners, and you're curious about what factory ammo might work in your M1A. And I'm just, you know, this is just kind of a reference to that. All right, on to heavy ball ammo.